neuropathy versus inflammation. Chris, you have got
You there, Bry?
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Got you,
Ready
Bry.
to roll. We're all set.
Brian, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Are you muted? Are you?
The audio here.
No, turn your volume up, Bry. Now you're muted. Now you're unmuted.
I love Zoom.
I'm over it.
Brian, you should be good to go.
Yeah, I'm not getting the audio on this.
He's called in a computer expert.
No, I'm on a computer here.
Brian, we can hear you.
Bottom left here, unmute.
Yep.
Yes, we can hear you now. How's that?
Brian, how about now?
We can hear you.
We hear you.
All right, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, good.
All righty. I had to get IT up here. Okay. Well, at this time, we'll call the meeting to order, the Board of Fire Commissioners February meeting on the 11th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. At first, I'd like to, if there's anybody else here. Chief, how are you, sir? James, thank you. Chris, how are you? We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd also I'd like to take a moment of silence for those who have passed and for those who you'd like to put in your prayers that are sick at this time. Thank you. All right, attendance. We have Commissioner Whalen, Commissioner Stoddard, Mr. Kopensky, Councilman Minor, and Chief Trommer is here with us. That's all that I can see. Unless there's somebody else out there.
Yep,
Okay.
there's,
I'm here.
Yep.
Commissioner, you have Counselor Menke, you have Chief LaPierre, Chief Regina, and Chief Stegmeyer on here also.
Very good. Thank you, Chief. I don't see them here. I might, it's probably something else. If I touch on the computer, I'm going to screw something else up. So I won't.
Well, don't do that.
Oh, here's Tim. I got Tim under now. Okay, good. All right. Yeah.
And you also
Listen,
have Counselor Minor.
I may have to call my IT help back up here if I start playing around with this again. So. All right, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the prior meetings from January 14th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Stoddard, seconded by Commissioner Whalen. Moving on to communications. Communications, we have Chief Trommer's January report.
Got up.
Fire-
Chief, Brian, back up. You got to do public participation.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that one. Public participation for the first time.
At this point, we have two individuals on. If they're interested in speaking, they can use the raise hand feature inside of Zoom or *9 on their phones to be recognized. Does not appear we have anybody interested in speaking at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, sir. Communications, monthly reports. We have Chief Trommer's January report, the fire chief's activities for January, the monthly training report for January, and the fire marshal's January report. Motion to accept?
I'll move that.
Motion by Commissioner Stoddard, seconded by
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Whalen. Thank you. Moving on to the ledger status. Comments by either commissioner?
Go ahead, Brian.
I'm happy to see that we got a lot of zeros. Looks like we're in good shape for the rest of the year. A lot of the equipment has been bought within the last couple months, which I'm happy to see. And we should be good till the end of June. Let's hope if all goes well.
Very good.
I reviewed it myself and find we're just about where we should be at this time.
Good. Very good.
So I'll make a motion. We approve the ledger status
And I'll
as
Okay.
presented.
Motion by Commissioner Stoddard, seconded by Commissioner Whalen. Thank you. Moving on to old business. Under old business, we have personnel functions and deputy chief testing. Any questions on that?
I can report on the deputy chief's testing.
Okay, you can. I was gonna also, go ahead. You're probably gonna say the same thing.
We did have the written portion of the test on Saturday. The state of Connecticut Training Academy from Bradley Airport came in, administered the test to 5 of our applicants. And the written scores are forthcoming from the academy.
Okay, you want to comment on the Saturdays as well, or moving on to the oral board?
The oral board is set up for this Saturday. All 5 candidates will be participating in the oral board. The oral board is set up from 4 members from outside of the Newington area. We did not go local, just to be very transparent. And that'll be this Saturday at Company 1 at 10 a.m.
Okay, very good. Moving on. New business. The only thing I could think of is, Chief, in regards to engine 4, do we have a status on the damage?
It actually went down to Turnpike Motors for an estimate for repairs. They're estimating that the status will probably be about anywhere from 2 to 3 months before any repairs are started on that, because a lot of the parts had to come from Pierce directly. And because of the backlog and all the build time, it's going to take a little bit. So they're working on it. All
Okay.
the reports are in and taken care of.
And the garage checked it out. There's no problems, and it can stay online in the meantime.
Yeah, everything's been repaired that would needed to be repaired to keep it online. So it's good to go until we can get the cosmetic stuff fixed.
Okay, very good. We'll check back on that later as the time goes on.
Yep.
Public participation for the second time.
Again, we have the same 2 attendees. I'm not going to repeat for them. It does not appear we have anybody looking to speak.
Okay, moving on to commissioners' remarks. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for the texts and messages, the voicemails, the calls. Everybody checking on me while I went through that whole COVID and pneumonia issue. It's not something that you want to go through, let alone even watch somebody go through. It's horrific. It really is. I don't know if the shot would have made any difference or not, but it's a flu to be reckoned with. I'll tell you that. But I just want to reach out and say thank you to everybody. I wasn't able to get back to everybody. I'm still trying to get back to some people and everything else. I'm actually into the 8th week of it, and I'm finally feeling better. My lungs still have a coating in them, which they say will probably take another month to clear out. Hopefully there's no long-term effects. The doctors are still working on this thing, just like everybody is out there day to day. They don't really have any answers for you, and there's no medication for it. You know, so I can see how people lose the battle with it. I really can. But again, thank you. I also want to put out a thank you to all the personnel who were able to step up and make themselves available to be at the firehouses through all the snowstorms. It's a big plus. It really shows that the fire department is out there and supporting the town, which in turn supports us. So you guys did a great job out there. I know you're away from your families and you've got things to do with your responsibilities at your houses as well, but it really means a lot that you stepped up and hung out at the firehouses and took care of the calls for service that were required. And also nice job with Task Force 51 in Berlin, helping them out with that fire. I don't know if the chief has any comments on that as well. I'll let you go first, Jeff, if you want.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on it. Our guys responded to the task force call over in Berlin. That was an odd call, if you want to say. It was a house fire with no hydrants in the area. So there was very little water supply out there, and our guys did an absolutely outstanding job and got high praise from the chiefs from other departments on the work that they did there. Hats off to Chief Regina and Chief LaPierre that were there. They led the team and did a great job, and I really appreciate all the work they did.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. And Chief, this one goes out to you. I want to thank you for all the updates, all the emails, all the communication that we get from you. It keeps the commissioners involved, and not only the commissioners, but it keeps all the members involved. Everybody knows what's going on. There's no secrets out there. No one's, nothing's being hidden. With all the updates, with everything coming from the town and everything, everybody's getting them firsthand on their emails, and they can read them for themselves. What's going on? It's not through I hear to say word of mouth kind of thing. From a meeting, you can actually get more detail from those emails than you would anything else. So thank you for sending all that stuff out and taking the time to do that.
Absolutely.
James, thank you for setting up the meeting for us. I know you're going above and beyond also. On these Thursday nights, you probably want to dig in at 7:30 and watch something on TV yourself rather than dealing with us, but we couldn't do it without you, so thank you.
Not a problem. My pleasure.
And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the chief and the whole chief staff and all the members of the fire department for everything they do day in and day out at all hours of the day, 24/7. Thank you to everybody for being part of this department. Chief Stoddard, or I'm sorry, Chief Stoddard. Just been Commissioner Stoddard or Commissioner Whalen, any comments?
I do. And I'm not sure if that's a promotion or a demotion, being Chief Stoddard. First of all, Tommy, is it true that they're calling you the water boy now?
Oh, probably.
I heard you did an excellent job handling the tanker transfer of water. That's really well done. I did sit through the town council presentation on our facilities, and I'd give a lot of kudos to the chief staff for keeping our facilities up. The evaluators said that the fire department had the best buildings in town, so that well done, and that's important. And because of it, we may be getting some solar on fire department roofs. We're going to work towards that. The other thing was they did do the radio presentation, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And I've had a number of conversations about it. It's something that we got to work towards. We could probably technically right now go on the state system without putting up any more antennas or anything, but we have to look at where we are and what we're going to get and what it's really going to cost us in the long run.
Commissioner Stoddard, just on that, we applied for the AFG grant today. It is in, and we'll know probably within the first 2 quarters of this year whether we are accepted or not. So we did finalize that grant today.
And how much is that grant for, Chief?
That grant we put in for $2 million.
Okay, that's great. Hopefully we can get some.
Absolutely.
That would move it along.
Yep.
Let's see, what else did I have? Commissioner Gallagher, it's so nice to see you again.
It's good to be here. Trust me.
and not have you hacking.
I'm finally getting back into my normal self again, I hope, you know? Whatever you want to consider me as normal to be, so.
Well,
I'm
as
trying
normal
to-
as
I'm
we
trying
all
to get back
get.
to where I was, so.
Yeah, as normal as
yes.
any of us get is right.
Normal's the setting on the washing machine.
Yeah.
Right. But I'll tell you what, I can't say enough about this flu. It's horrific, you know? It's crazy.
Well, I'm awfully glad I got my second shot, so we go forward from there, see what happens.
Good.
I think that's all I got. Brian Whalen, if you want to chime in.
I'm also happy to have you back, Commissioner Chairman. We missed you last month and, I guess the department prayers and everything worked for you. So happy to have you back. And, also kudos to Chief Regina and, Chief LaPierre from last week. Also, I personally was there at that call driving engine 2. And 40 years in this fire department, I never seen anything like it with tankers coming from the west end of our state, almost down by Danbury. And it was quite interesting to see. And Chief LaPierre running the water shuttle, which I'm sure he's never done in his life. And Chief Regina in the back with the fire crews, that all went well. And kudos to both of them.
I do want to add that we did talk to some of the participants after the written test on Saturday, and they all said it seemed to be very fair, and it was a good test of their general knowledge of the fire department.
Good, thank you. All right, if nobody else has anything else, again, I want to thank you guys for everything that you do. Thank you for being here this evening. And I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I agree.
Thank you guys and have a good evening.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Good
Good night.
Night, Tim.
Good night.